Hello and welcome to the first. I'm so excited. I told my wife before I came on here that I have like this anxious feeling because I am so excited. But thank you and for coming. Welcome to the first installment of Live Coaching with Leslie. I'm excited because we're going to go deep tonight. You have questions, we're going to go deep. You have things that you're trying to figure out, things that you're struggling with. I am here to serve you as deeply as is humanly possible. We'll see how that goes. If you're joining on Facebook Live or on YouTube Live, go ahead and let us know where you are tuning in from. I know we have people here on Zoom that are also going to be asking questions, and I'm going to put them on the screen right now. So everybody on Zoom, you're going to wave on the count of three. 1, 2, 3, everybody wave! Hey! All right. We are so excited that you all are here. If you do have a question that you want to ask via video and you're on Facebook Live or you're on YouTube Live, I left a link there right at the top where you can go and click and come over on Zoom so that you can ask questions via video. Let's see if we have anyone here with us already. We've got... Oh, sweet. We've got Mark Mason in the house. We've got the Scooby Life in the house. We've got Ben in Calgary, Canada. We have got... Oh, wait, I could put y'all on the screen as I'm talking, all right? We got Ben in Calgary, Canada. We have got... Barbara is in Seattle. We have Mark Mason... where you're tuning in from? Mark Mason is tuning in from FB. Did you know there was a place in the world called FB? Well, that's where he is tuning in from. Facebook in the house. SoCal in the house. We've got Diane in New Zealand. I am excited that you are all here. Let me give you the rules of engagement really quick. Oh, by the way, if you are joining on YouTube, go ahead and hit, just in case you haven't, hold on, let me make sure I got this right. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on that bell icon so that you can be notified when we go live, when we create more content. We've got a whole lot of stuff coming your way. So this is how we're going to do it. We have some people that are on Zoom. They're going to be coming on via video to ask questions, and we're going to do some coaching that way. If you are on Facebook or on YouTube, you can type your question in the comment. I'm going to take some on Zoom Live. I'm going to take some that are on Facebook and on YouTube. And yes, as the Scooby Life is reminding everyone, make sure to hit the like button as well. We don't hate on the like button here at all. So we're just going to dive in. If you are on Zoom, you have a question, make sure your camera is on. And once again, if you came in after the fact, if you have a question and you're on Zoom, type into the chat, I have a question about, and just let me know what the topic is. All right? And we're going to go around the room like that and just try to see what we can do to provide some value here today. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's see what our first question is really quick here in the chat. All right. John has got a question about selling his blog. John, go ahead and unmute your mic, and I'm going to pop you on the screen. And go ahead and ask your question, man. How can I help you?
So I have a homeschooling blog and podcast that I've been running since about 2010. And recently I had someone approach me about purchasing the blog and then kind of being a permanent sponsor of the podcast. They were really excited about the traffic that I was driving to their site from a couple of posts that I made. And so they want me to kind of be a blogger for them. So my question to you is, what are some of the things I should consider when I'm selling my blog? What kind of costs should I look at? What kind of deals, or I guess you could say, should I say I'm only going to write so many posts a month? Those things, like what kind of metrics should I be looking at from my end as the person selling from the person buying the blog?
Yeah, so that's a good question, and there is no one set answer to that question, but there are some general things that you want to be taking into consideration. When you are selling a blog, it's essentially like you're selling a business. And when you're selling a business, the person that's buying it, they're buying it because they think that they can make their money back and then some. So usually, let's talk about pricing first. How do you price your blog? Quite frankly, you sell it for as much as someone is willing to pay for it. That is the general rule. But the idea is this. Usually it's going to go for some multiple of your earnings. I remember when I sold my blog, I was doing some research on how much can you actually sell a blog for. And some of the things that I saw was anywhere from, 1 year of earnings to 3 years of earnings and anywhere in between that. But the reality is it's a matter of how much people are willing to pay for it and what it's worth to the person that's actually buying it. So some of the things that you may want to consider is, hey, is this blog making money? How much money is it making? If it's making $1,000 a month, well, that gives you an idea of, approximately how much you can sell it for. You can sell that most likely for anywhere between $12,000 and 3 times that, so $36,000, depending on what that person is willing to pay. So that's one of the things that you want to take into consideration. But it's not always just about that. Maybe your blog is getting a decent amount of traffic. And if your blog is getting a decent amount of traffic, that might be something that is very appealing to the person that is wanting to buy it. So let's say your blog isn't making a lot of money because maybe you aren't monetizing it well or anything of that sort, but you're getting a decent amount of traffic, and the company or the person that is buying it can leverage that traffic to increase their revenue. Those are some of the things that you want to point out. Now, I'm curious because you said they want you to write for the blog and so on. Is that something that you're interested in doing? Is that actually, before that question, why do you want to sell the blog?
Well, I had actually retired it, that and the podcast, up until the whole COVID-19 thing happened. And then I came back because there were so many parents who were now having to homeschool their kids and were looking for advice.
Yep.
So I started writing again. And then they came to me after they saw that I was back and wanted to buy some advertising on the site because of the traffic that was continuing to go from my blog to their website. And so I'm really just looking for a way to have steady monetization. So if they're going to say, we'll pay you X amount of dollars every month to write 2 or 3 blog posts, and I don't have to worry about making sure I have advertisers or making sure I have to put affiliate links in, it's going to be a lot better for me in the long run, because it's just a hustle. It's not anything that I'm doing to try and turn into full-time income.
And is it making an income currently?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
it pays the hosting bills and then some.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's driving revenue.
And so I wouldn't have to pay for hosting the blog. So that would go to them. So that's money off the top that I would make, and then whatever they would either pay me up front for a contracted period of time, or just if they would pay me monthly for blogging regularly.
Gotcha. So it's a matter of, hey, if I get it off my hand and get it off my hands and they're paying me monthly to create content, I don't have to worry about all of the typical things you have to worry about when you're building a blog and all that good stuff. It's kind of like, well, I could use it as a way to make some money and offload a lot of the heavy lifting. That makes perfect sense. So in that case, if I were in your shoes, I would just have a conversation with them. Look at how much traffic the blog is getting. Look at how much traffic you've been sending them, and then talk about, hey, what could this look like if if this blog was fully yours, and it could you can leverage all of the traffic to go to your products or your services or whatever it is they have to offer. And then in that discussion, come up with something that, if there's a number that you have in your mind, I would feel comfortable letting it go at this price. Well, maybe throw that out there, and maybe throw it out there a little higher than you were thinking on throwing it out there, to see, maybe they negotiate down and they come down to the price that you're willing to sell it for. Those are some of the things that I would be thinking of. So number one, I'd be thinking on how much revenue is it currently generating. I'd be thinking on how much traffic it's currently generating, how much traffic it's sent to that company or that person, and how much it could send to them if they were the sole owners. I would factor those into the equation to decide, how much am I willing to let it go for? What is it worth to me? And if they're willing to pay that price, then they're willing to pay that price. Great. Then the next part of that is, how much work do you want to do on an ongoing basis for this site? You may just, when I sold my blog, it was a matter of, hey, I don't even want to think about it anymore. I just want to move on in life. So I let it go at the price that I was comfortable with. And now I don't have to think about it anymore. So those are some of the things that you want to take into consideration. Also, if you have social media followings for those different platforms, Facebook and Instagram and so on, take that into consideration and have them take that into consideration when you tell them the price. But I would walk them through a process of, hey, this is what it's currently doing. This is how much traffic it has sent you. So this is, if you were to be full owner, this is the traffic that is now yours. How could that benefit your company? How could that benefit your business if you had all of that traffic? This is what I am looking for and what I'm comfortable with letting go. This is the amount of work that I'm comfortable doing. Maybe you're comfortable writing posts for it for the next X number of months, but then you want to, let that slide after a certain amount of time. Be clear on those things, and then just make the proposal to them and see what they say.
Yeah. One of the things that they told me was that I don't generate as much traffic as some of the other sites that they advertise on. Mm-hmm. But what he said was, I generate the right traffic. Exactly. Because a lot of people stay for a long time and they buy. So, that's what they're looking for.
Exactly. And not just that. And that was just like maybe one promotion that you did. Was that the case?
It was a blog post that I wrote where their website was one of 7 or 8 other websites that I had listed. It was just one of those list articles. Yes.
So that's perfect. And make sure they understand. This is just a list article. You were just one of many. Imagine if it was an entire post, but then beyond that, imagine if it was the entire blog. It's obviously the right target audience. That's the thing, right? You don't need to have a ton of traffic to be very valuable. I have one client that, the numbers that he's getting is not that high, but because it's so valuable to the people that he works with and the sponsors that he works with, it generates a substantial amount of income. Finding the right targeted audience is valuable. You have that value. They want that value. Don't undervalue that.
Sounds good.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, glad to be able to help you out on that, and let me know how it goes. If you get it sold and you're happy with what you sold it for, I would love to hear back from you.
Will do.
All right, man. You take care.
All right. Bye.
Awesome. So that was question number 1. We're going to go ahead and dive into question number 2. I do see that there are some questions coming in on YouTube and Facebook. Don't worry. I will not ignore you. I will bring you on so that you can get your questions answered as well. All right. So next we have a question from Erica. Erica has a question about driving traffic to her blog. So Erica, I'm going to pop you on the screen and go ahead. What's your question?
Yes. So that is my question. I feel like I have good content, but that's just me speaking. I don't understand how I can get, you're just mentioning the right target audience. I can't get traffic to my blog. I mean, I am working hard, putting out content and information, but I just seem to can't get any views or, get the right attention to my blog, and I need help with that.
Yep, got it, got it. So you said you're putting in a lot of work and creating content. Let me ask you this question. What work are you doing to market your blog?
I like every time I put out a blog, I send it out, an e-blast out to my email list.
Okay.
I promote it on Facebook. I let everybody on Instagram know. I put it on Twitter. And that's what I'm doing. I'm telling everybody about the blog or the article that I just came out with. I just feel like it's just not getting any traction. I'm spending money getting it edited and everything. It's not going anywhere.
So let me ask you this question. Which social network would you say is your primary focus?
I'm on Instagram the most.
You're on Instagram the most. And what are you doing on Instagram to engage your audience?
I post every single day on Instagram. I give travel tips, travel inspiration, and I totally get that no one's traveling and it's COVID. But even before then, I mean, I feel like I'm working hard out there trying to provide valuable information to help people travel and travel well and travel smart.
And how long have you been blogging actively for?
I've been blogging for probably about 5 years, but actively for a full year.
For about a full year. Okay. And
yes.
you're creating content on Instagram. How are you using Instagram to drive traffic to your blog? What is your process like? I'm curious.
I'll give put up a picture related to the blog, and then into the comments, I'm giving information about what my blog post was about and asking people to click the link in my bio and check out my new blog post for today. And I even ask a question about it, like, depending on what it is, to engage people to put some comments down below. Some people say, oh, yeah, that sounds good. I'll go check that out. I'm just not getting the traffic that I want.
Got it. Okay. A few other questions. Are you doing like stories? Are you doing live and so on? I just want to get a full idea of all of the things that you're doing.
Yes, definitely. If I post something like, if I have a new blog post, a new YouTube video, or even, a new podcast, I'm always on stories. I'm making sure people know exactly what I have released, my content. I'm doing all of that. I feel like I'm doing everything, but apparently I'm not doing something right.
Well, that's not necessary. We can't jump to that conclusion already, because so here's the thing, right? Blogging is a tricky thing. It's the kind of thing where it's kind of like building a business. You know what they say about the failure rates of businesses? Most businesses fail. That's a fact. And the reason why they fail is because building a business isn't easy, number one. And number two, it takes time to make it happen. And sometimes what happens is you're doing all this work and nothing seems to be happening. You're doing all this work and nothing seems to be happening. You're not getting the traffic that you want to get, and yada, yada, yada. And you give up right before that breakthrough. And before I talk about, some of the other practical things you can do, there's a misconception, right? Because we see these bloggers out there, they put content out and everybody's sharing their stuff. Everybody's liking it. A thing is going viral. All they got to do is sneeze and someone in a different part of the world catches, the disease that they just sneezed. It just seems like for some people, it's so ridiculously easy. Why am I struggling with all this work that I am doing? But the reality is, it's easy for them now. I mean, or it's easier for them now, but they've probably been doing it for years and years and years and years and building that audience over time. We have this misconception because we see all of these sales pages saying going from $0 to $3,894.21 in 31 days with no experience, no expertise, no list, no anything, no headache. And it's just not a reality. So the first thing I want you to understand is that instant, or not even instant, but that relatively quick success with online business and blogging and all that stuff, it doesn't happen. It is not a reality. And I want us to make sure that our expectations are in the right place. That's the first part. Okay. Now, second thing is, okay, yes, you're doing all this stuff on social media and that's great. Keep doing it. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to keep studying the platform. Keep studying and understanding, take courses on Instagram marketing and see how people are using hashtags and different tweaks they're doing to get a little more exposure. And the more you learn, the more a lot of that stuff becomes natural to you. Learn about photography and how to make really good pictures for Instagram and all. In other words, keep educating yourself on the process. That's the first thing I want to emphasize. It's not just going to happen. You got to study, you got to work, you got to put in the effort, which you are. So that's great. Keep doing it. Get guidance from people that can show you how to do it the right way. Another thing, when I started my biology blog, just as an example, I wanted to get traffic fast, relatively fast. So what I did, I literally went all across the internet and I put together a spreadsheet of 84 different websites that I would love to be in. Because here's one thing I know. One of the easiest ways to get traffic, or one of the fastest ways to get traffic, is to get it from somebody that already has the traffic. So what I did then is I strategically chose these 84 different websites that I knew that my target audience were consuming their content. And I started reaching out to each of them. And I started reaching out to each of them in a way that is very different from the people that I get reaching out to me on a daily basis right now. Right now, when someone reaches out to me, it's all about, hey, I see your blog. I would love to be featured in it. Can you have me on your podcast? Can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? I don't know you. That is just not going to happen. What I did is I reached out to serve them. And I remember there was this one lady who I knew she had a lot of traffic coming to her blog. I knew it because it seemed like no matter what I searched for, her blog was like #1. And I'm like, you know what? That's a sign. She's got some traffic. She's got some decent traffic. So I went to her blog and I noticed that she was having some struggles with like the WordPress setup and so on. I reached out to her and I say, hey, I've been using your blog for a while. I love it. At the time I was a teacher and I was using it in my class, and my students love the resources that you put together. Thank you so much for what you do. And then I told her, I noticed you are having some issues with WordPress. I have been learning a lot about WordPress and I would love to help you with that 100% free of charge, just to say thank you for what you are doing. And then I said, by the way, I also have a biology blog over here where I post some biology videos. You can check it out. I didn't ask her to link to my stuff. I asked her, can I help you? I'll never forget the email she sent me back. She sent me an email back saying, thank you so much. I really appreciate the kind words that you're saying. I'm glad my blog is helping your classes, yada, yada, yada. And then she said, I am so busy, I don't even have time to take you up on the offer. But thank you so much for saying that. And then she said, by the way, I checked out your blog, really like it. I've been wanting to do something like that, but I don't have the time. So I just wrote this quick post about it. I was like, what? And I went over and it was a very short post. I found this site with some really cool videos. Check it out here. And that was it. That month, 400 visitors. The next month, 800 visitors. And then I reached out to her and I said, hey, thank you so much for linking to the site. And people are coming over. I'm getting a lot of comments. They're really loving it. I also noticed she had some links in her sidebar, and those are on every page of her blog. I said, by the way, would you consider, maybe linking in the side? I mean, since you're already doing it. Right. And she replied with one word, done. And I went to her site and I saw it in the sidebar. And then that next month, 1,200 people, and then 2,000, and then more people started linking. And then next thing you know, it's 10,000. Next thing you know, it continues to build to where it's 100,000 people visiting the blog in a month. It builds over time. And I try to connect with other people in my industry that I knew had traffic, but from a perspective of, I want to serve you, not, hey, what can you do for me? And that kind of attitude has just built over and over. How can you connect with other people that are out there doing awesome things that are in front of your audience? And how can you provide value to them and to their audience? Can you write an article for them? Can you make videos for them? Can you go out of your way to serve them in a way that provides value to them? You just never know where that's going to lead to. So just those are some things to consider. Number one, study and implement. And number two, see if you can connect with other people in your space that have access to your audience and see how you can provide value to them, because you never know where those relationships will lead.
I like that. That's good advice. I'm going to work on that. I really like that.
Awesome.
Providing value to others. You never know where it's going to lead. I love that.
And that's what it's all about, right? The more you serve people, you're in this. I know this. You're in this because you want to serve people. Obviously you want to make money too. And ain't nothing wrong with making some money, but you want to help people. So
exactly. Right. That's why that's why I'm in the travel business. I want to plan vacations. I want to help people travel. So I do want to serve others. I just got to find that space where my audience is and serve outside of my small circle.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Is that helpful?
Very helpful.
All right. So start taking action on that. Come back, give me some feedback. Let me know how it's going. Say, Leslie, I'm doing it. I'm reaching out to these people. Nobody's saying no. But hey, this one person, she linked to my stuff. Check out this post. I would be so thrilled to hear that.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to speak it into existence. I will be coming back to you and saying that.
I love it. Thank you so much, Erica.
Thank you.
All right. You are very much welcome. I think it's time for us to take some comments from on social media. So we're going to do that right about now. By the way, if you are on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe, because listen, I'm going to be doing a whole lot of interesting stuff. Not just this live stuff, which I think you guys can see that it's going to be valuable for you, but I'm going to be launching courses. And normally when people launch courses, they launch these courses, they put it out there, and it's going to be $97 or $9.97 or $19.97. This is going to be free. What I just said to Erica, it's about serving. This is what I'm going to be doing on YouTube. So if you're on Facebook, hop on over to YouTube, hit subscribe, share it with your friends, tell your cousin, tell your mama, tell whoever you think could get some value from growing their business online. So we're going to go on over to YouTube and take some comments right now. Let's see, who do we got? My boy Jeffrey is in the house. He said, this is awesome. Happy to be joining this evening. I am glad that you are joining this evening as well. So we got a question here from Nora. And Nora is asking, and sorry if it's too many words and it overshoots the comment. I just noticed it's overshooting the comments area, but you get the point. I want to start a lifestyle channel where I share videos from celebrities. How do I legally share videos that celebrities have made onto my channel? That is a good question, and it's a tricky question. How do you legally share videos that celebrity has made? By getting permission to do it. And quite frankly, it is very difficult to get permission to share a celebrity's video. The celebrities are making these videos. It is their property, it's their own, and unless they give you permission to do it, I wouldn't do it. Are there people that do it? Absolutely. People do it. Is that the right and legal way to do it? Absolutely not. To legally share something online, you have to have permission to do it. This is why I will not put a picture on my blog that I didn't pay for. We're not even talking about videos. I'm talking about random pictures. If I didn't take the picture or I didn't pay for the picture, I will not post the picture. Now, let me tell you why this is so important. Once I got a letter from a lawyer, and the lawyer basically said, I am representing this person who took this picture. You are using it without authorization, and we are fining you. It was either $13,000 or $16,000 for each use of that image. When I saw that, I was like, what? What are you talking about? How are you going to, what? It freaked me out initially. So I went to Noemi. Noemi is on here right now, and she is I like to say she's the brains behind the operation. She's the one that makes me look good. Anything that I put online, if it looks good, it's because Noemi touched it. If it looks kind of sketchy, it's because I designed it. But I went back to her and I said, hey, I got this. And this was my biology blog. I think it was a picture of an alligator. I said, can you figure out what's going on here? And she went back into our records and she saw the place where we purchased the rights to use that image from a stock photography site. And she sent me that information. I sent it over to the lawyer and I never heard from him again. That is the kind of protection I want to have in my business. So your question is, how do I share? Oh, where did it go? How do I share videos from celebrities? How do I legally share videos that celebrities have made onto my channel? My recommendation is don't even try it. That's my recommendation on that. So I know it's probably not what you want to hear, and you can go on YouTube and you can see many examples of people that are still doing it. I just wouldn't recommend it. Okay. Let's see. And Erica says, Getty Images came after me too one time for $800. Yeah, you see, that's why you want to make sure you have the rights to use anything that you are using. At the beginning of this live stream, I played some music, some steel pan music. I wanted to give you guys a little bit of the island feel. Well, you can bet that I paid, I think, $45 to use that one track. I can use it over and over, but I paid for it. So my response is, don't even try it. That's it. Okay, let's see what we have here really quick. Hey, if you are on Zoom and you have a question, here's what I want you to do. Type in the chat on Zoom, hey, I have a question about, and then say whatever the topic is. You don't have to write out the whole question. I'll bring you on here, and then you can ask the question there. All right, let's see. Who else is in the house? Colin is in the house. What's going on, sir? Audrey is in the house as well. We've got A.M. Dalton from Massachusetts. Okay, we've got a question here from Deanna. So Deanna is asking the question, which is better, blogging or podcast? That's a great question. Which is better, blogging or podcast? My answer to that question is they're both different. Which is better? It depends. Which is better for you and for your target audience? That's the question that you should be asking. What I would be asking myself is, who am I trying to reach? And based on who I'm trying to reach, you want to know, hey, what kind of content are they consuming? What kind of content are they more likely to be consuming? And how can I create the kind of content that they're looking for? If your audience are commuting a whole lot, maybe not right now, but after a pandemic and all that stuff, they're commuting a whole lot, spending a lot of time in cars, or they're working a lot around the house and they can listen to stuff often and that kind of stuff. Podcasting might be a great way to reach those people. If your audience likes to read or likes to go to a blog, then blogging would be good for those people. So it's a matter of the audience that you are trying to reach, number one, and number two, the kind of content that you enjoy creating. I'll tell you about me. I enjoy blogging and podcasting, yes, and creating videos, and I enjoy them for different reasons. Podcasting has become near to my heart, even though I'm at becomeablogger.com. And the reason for that is people will listen to a podcast for a much longer time than they would read an article or even watch a video. If I can record a 45-minute podcast episode and even an hour-long podcast episode, and people will consume it from beginning to end. The majority of the people that are listening to it will consume it from beginning to end. What that means is I can elaborate a whole lot more. I can go deep. I can share stories. I can do all that stuff. If I write an article that's going to take you 45 minutes to read, you ain't reading that stuff. You're not going to read it. It's just not going to happen. So I find with podcasting, people get to know you at a much deeper level. Whenever I attend an event, let's say it's an event that I'm speaking at or something of that sort, I get comments from people that are talking about my content, but it's usually something they heard in my podcast. They'll come up to me and they might ask me a question about how Noah did with this one thing, because in some episode, my son Noah, I spoke about him and something that he did, or my daughter Odelia, or something of that sort. People don't usually come up to me and tell me at a conference, hey, that article that you wrote about this topic was amazing. It just hasn't happened yet. But podcasting allows me to go deep. Now, when it came to my biology blog, I decided to do video. Why? Because I knew my audience needed to see the things that I was teaching them. And with video, I can draw on my screen. I can bring up different animations and so on. I can't do that in a podcast. When I tell you about how the neuron functions, it's better if I actually show you and draw and that kind of stuff. So I chose to do video because I knew that would be best for my audience. So think about your audience. Think about also what kind of content you enjoy creating, and use that to make a decision as to which platform you want to use, whether it's a blog or a podcast. Make sense? I hope so. All right, let's see. We have a question on Zoom. I wanted to expand a little about Creative Commons and sharing celebrity videos. Okay, I'm going to bring you on. I don't know your name because it just says Galaxy S9 Plus. So go ahead and unmute yourself, and you can go ahead and expand on that. And go ahead. Hi. You want to go ahead and ask your question or give your input? You have to unmute yourself, and then you can. Okay, it's looking like you're having an issue unmuting yourself. Oh, your audio is not connected. I just looked at the thing, and for some reason your audio is not connected. So what I would try doing is logging out and coming back in, or connecting your audio somehow. But right now I'm unable to. I can see you're unable to ask anything. I see Jen and Robert are here on Zoom. You're connecting via audio. I could see it. And hello. Nope, it's not working. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and see if there are other questions, and if you're able to figure that out, then we'll take it from there. Okay, let's see. We've got Education Anywhere saying, hi, thanks for this live. You are very much welcome. Tana says, good to see you streaming again. It's been a while. And I'm glad to be on here as well. Ignorant Industries says, Leslie giving live tech support. Hey, I do what I got to do. Try to help people as much as possible. All right, I don't see any questions on Facebook or on YouTube. So let's see. I see we have on Zoom Jen, and we have Robert. Did you guys have a question that you wanted to ask? Are we having some technical difficulties there?
Just listening in, Leslie, seeing how you're doing. If I come up with a question, I'll let you know.
All right, that sounds good. That sounds good. Let's see. All right, we have a question here. Let me show it. All right, so the Scooby Life is asking, I just created my first affiliate link for a physical product, and I want to help fellow dog-friendly / outdoor lovers make money via referral. My first thought, approach current friends on, oh, it's so long, I'm not seeing the rest. On IG. Okay, so you want to help other friends make money via referral commission, affiliate commission, and you want to know how to do it. Well, here's how you can do it. You can write an article, you can make a post, you can make a video about how I make money referring dog lovers to this service. And then you can explain to them the process. You can tell them a little bit about affiliate marketing. You don't want to get too deep into the details of that, but it's a way that they can get a link and send it to their friends and make some money with that. I would create content to teach people, hey, here's how I did it. That's how I basically do it with affiliate marketing, right? If I want to teach if I want to refer someone to something, I will create content. And that content is to educate them about whatever it is this service is about or this product is about. The same thing can apply in your space, in your industry. Write an article, do a blog, a video series, create content. You said you're on Instagram. Yeah, create content on Instagram to show this is how I've been able to leverage my love of animals, my love of dogs, to make some extra money. And here's how you can do it too. It's a relatively simple concept. If you show them how you are doing it, then they will be able to see how they can do it as well. And you walk them through the process of how to do it, and there you go. That's the way that I would do it. Create that content and use that content to educate your audience, your friends, and so on about how to do it. And she says, we have a blog too because of your help. Well, that is awesome. Yeah, so you have the blog, create the content. You have the social following, create the content on social media. And then just, the community that you're building, let them know this is how I've done it and this is how you can do it as well. Let's see. Mark Mason, my man, is asking, you're so awesome on camera. How do... Mark Mason is like the king of compliments. Just in case anybody was wondering, I think that's what he went to school for, complimenting people. How do if I want to get on camera, but I should have read the question before reading the question out loud. So I will answer your question, and your question is essentially, how do I get good on camera? Well, let me tell you a story. I remember when I first started learning about creating online video, I learned from a guy. His name is Gideon Shalwick. Gideon Shalwick is a very is a guy from Australia. He's very chill, and he has a certain way of creating videos and teaching people, and I absolutely love it. And he had a way that he teaches you, hey, you want to make videos, you want them to be effective, this is what you do. First, you tell them what you're going to tell them. Then you actually tell it to them. And then at the end, you tell them what you told them. And there was a certain way that he did it. And at the end, I could always remember this. He said, in review, what I showed you was X, Y, Z. And he'd tell you that. When I first started making videos, I basically sounded like a Caribbean version of Gideon Shalwick. Just the same feel that he had. That's the feel that I had, but with a little bit of a Caribbean accent. Now, I made my next video, and I made my next video, and I sounded like him, and I got, the videos were good, but the more I created videos, the more I became myself. The less I was like Gideon, the Caribbean version of Gideon Shalwick, and the more I was just me. How do you get good at video? How do you get better on video, better on camera? Make another video. And when you finish with that video, make another one and another one and another one and another one. I've made thousands of videos. And because I've made thousands of videos, it's easy for me to make a video. It's easy for me to engage my audience via video, not because it's an easy thing, but it's because I've done it thousands and thousands of times. So how do you get better on video? Do it again and do it again and do it again. And for some reason, the more you do it, the better you get. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. So Mark Mason, and you're already good on video, just do it. And he said, sure, I get all that, but what about the confidence part? You seem so confident. What do I do if I feel, if I don't feel, you see, like I said, Mark Mason is a complimenter. This is what he does for a living. But the reality is, do it again. That's how you do it. That's how you gain confidence. You know what actually gains confidence? Making the video, doing it again and again and again and again, and seeing, hey, I'm better than I was when I made that first video. All of a sudden you get a little bit of a confidence boost. And then you do more and more and more. And you start, you look at the videos and you see, hey, you know what? Maybe I should have a little more enthusiasm in my voice. And I start putting a little more enthusiasm. And then you start getting comments like people telling you how awesome you look on video. And then that builds your confidence some more. Right now, Mark Mason, you are on here to build my confidence. And when you're building my confidence, the next video I make, I'm gonna be like super confident, like, hey, I'm doing this video thing because Mark Mason says that I'm awesome. But really and truly, the more you do it, the better you get. The more you do it, the more positive feedback you get, because people are gonna remember when you did that old video and you were all boring and monotonous and so on, and now you're more engaging. You're going to start getting that kind of feedback, because practice doesn't make perfect, but practice makes better. So do it and do it and then do it and then do it again. And when you finish doing it, can you guess what to do next? You do it.
Do it again.
Do it again. All right. So I see Galaxy S9. I know that's not your name, but you are on and your audio is in. So I'm gonna put you on the screen, and you had something to say or ask. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, and my name is Nora.
Hi. Oh, Nora. Hey, how you doing?
Yes. Hi.
Hi.
Yes, I didn't get a clear understanding, because I've asked this question before and I never got a clear understanding.
Yes.
I know that there's someone that I know that has several Facebook channels and now a YouTube channel, and she's doing very well. And what she does is she started from Facebook and grew her audience, and she has like a lifestyle channel, and she has the celebrities, Cardi B, some of the women from the housewives from Beverly Hills or housewives from Atlanta. And she shows their videos, and there's a large interest in that sort of thing, lifestyle channels. So I don't know how she does it. I mean, when you said before that you have to get permission, someone else mentioned something to me about Creative Commons. Now, I didn't quite understand Creative Commons when I read about it. Yeah. But how do you go about seeking permission? And because she's monetizing it, and she's doing very well monetizing it. So I don't think she would take a chance on doing that with the scale of what she's doing it if she didn't have permission. I just don't know how one goes about getting permission, or what is this Creative Commons about?
Okay, so that's multiple questions in there, and I'll try to pick it apart, right? First, let's deal with Creative Commons. When you release content, there are different ways that you can release that content. It could be copyrighted content. You could release it into the public domain. If it's public domain, anyone can use it for any purposes, depending on how you stipulate the public domain. Creative Commons is it's kind of a compromise that has been created where you can use content that is designated as Creative Commons in certain ways. And it depends on what type of Creative Commons license it was released under. So there are some Creative Commons licenses where it will say Creative Commons with attribution. So basically what they're saying is you have the ability to use this freely as long as you attribute it to the actual rights, the rights owner of that particular piece of content. So when I did my biology blog, there's a site called Wikimedia Commons that has a bunch of Creative Commons images and animations that you can use. I used a lot of those, and all I had to do was say, hey, this image was created by this person, and I give them credit for it. They're okay with me doing that because that's the license that they release that content under. So if it is designated as Creative Commons, you can check the licensing. Some of it is Creative Commons with attribution. Some of it is Creative Commons for non-commercial use. Some is Creative Commons, but you could use it for commercial use with attribution. So you just have to check the specific type of license, and usually they have a link to the actual license so that you can go and check that out and use it with that permission. So that is if it is designated as Creative Commons. Now, with respects to what the person that you mentioned is doing, I can't say for sure what they're doing because I haven't seen what they're doing and I don't know exactly what they're doing. However, I will tell you this, there are a lot of people that are very successful at sharing content that they do not have the rights to share. And they've been able to make a significant amount of money with it. I am not saying it is not possible. I am more going from the perspective of what is legal. It is not legal to share to post anything that you do not have the rights to post. And will you get away with it? Possibly. There are many people. I mean, there's so much content that's created online that is very hard to police. Me, I'm not even taking a risk. I'm not going there. Now, that doesn't mean you can't share someone else's content. It's possible that they've gotten successful by curating content. In other words,
what does that mean?
Someone, if I'm curating content, I'm going around the internet and I'm finding content to share with my audience. I am not uploading that content as my own. But if Cardi B posts a video, I can, just like with this video, I can like it, I can share it. I could share it to my page, and that's perfectly fine because I am not claiming this as my own. Now, what a lot of people...
Even if you're I'm sorry,
yeah,
I just need to, I'm writing that down. Even, so maybe that's what, maybe I said it wrong because what she's doing is like, say the Kardashians, they make a video of their children and she shares that video. So if she uploads it to her channel and she shares it, is that different then?
No, that is not different. So if she is actually uploading it, like if she downloads the video and she uploads it to her channel, that is not legal. I cannot take your video and upload it as my own video. But I can take your video and hit the share button and share it to my page or my community and that kind of stuff.
So you can share it.
I can share it, but I can't claim it as my own because it is not my own and I don't have the rights to do it. Now there is, well, that's kind of different. There's a difference between that and, like if I can't upload someone else's song just as an example. But my wife and I, we record cover songs and we post them to YouTube. Where, if somebody does a song, we like the song, we will record that song and post it to YouTube. But YouTube has made arrangements with record labels and all this kind of stuff so that you can upload a cover song. It will be the revenue that's generated from the cover song that you uploaded will go to the rights holder. So because they have that special arrangement, it is possible to do that. But in terms of me taking someone else's content and uploading it to my channel as my own, to my Facebook page, so many people do it. Celebrities do it. But it's not actually legal. So I say stay away from it. I will never recommend for anyone to do it. I will not be doing it myself because I don't want to be that one example of the guy that got caught. And not just that. It's just, I consider it stealing. I am taking something that you've created, and while it might not be an actual thing that I'm taking from you, it is your intellectual property. That belongs to you. If you give me the permission to use it, great. If not, I'm not touching it. Make sense?
Well, how would you ask for permission? Yes, that does make sense.
How would you ask for permission? From a celebrities, it'd be very close to impossible to get that permission because I'm not cool with celebrities like that. Maybe she is.
Neither.
There are certain instances where there are certain companies that have the rights to certain videos, and you can pay those companies in order to use that content. That's the only situation under which I would think it would be possible to use that kind of content. And that gets pretty expensive. Make sense?
Okay. Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you.
You are very much welcome. All right. We've got, let me see really quick. What? Luria is in the house. What's going on, Luria from Live Streaming Pros? I feel honored. Mark Mason, she's building my confidence just by being here. All right, let's see. Robert is in the house, and he says he has a question. I'm going to pop him on the screen. Take it away, Robert.
Hey, Leslie, how you doing?
I am fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Awesome.
So I don't know how much you remember about me, but we had a little coaching call about a year ago. I help married Canadian Christians get out of debt and deal with their finances and get their finances under control so they can be outrageously generous.
Absolutely. I do remember that, and I love the fact that you can say married Canadian Christians. That's so specific.
Yeah, clarified it. It's their call, yeah.
There you go. All right. So what's up? What's your question?
So at this point in my life, I'm going into a time where it's going to be really busy. So professionally, I still teach full-time at the university up here. I teach math. And going into this term, everything's online. So it's going to take a lot of extra work. It's going to be very, very tiring, and it's going to be twice as much work and get half the results. That's what we're sort of experiencing.
Yep.
That said, as well, one of my goals for the fall was to start taking a course on learning biblical Greek for my own personal Christian walk. Yeah. So you start putting that together, and I'm looking at this fall, and I'm like, geez, I'm not going to have a ton of time. So I've been talking with my wife a lot about what is this fall going to look like in terms of my business. So at this point, I have about 10 members. I've got about a 300 person email list and then some significant following online. But my question is, what should I really focus on this fall that I can't let slip? So for instance, I know for sure I've got my membership comes with 2 member calls a month. So I can't let those slip. That's something I promised my members. That's what they're paying for, right? But I'm trying to think what are the other absolutely mission critical things that I've got. My goal is not to grow. My goal is just to maintain and be around in January so that I can get back to it, because I'm in this for the long haul. I want this business to be around for the next 20 years, making a big difference in people's lives. But so I'm willing to wait. But I'm just wondering, what do you think those main key points would be?
That's a great question, because here's the reality. Here's what I've seen. When we get into blogging, when we get into content creation and so on, maybe we take a course, maybe we join a membership, Maybe we learn about different things. We're reading these blogs. We learn about social media. We learn about going live. We learn about you have a membership site, so you learn about membership sites. You learn about all of these different things, and then you do a bunch of things. So you're creating content, you're doing this, you're sharing on Facebook, you're tweeting, you're doing all the things that they say that you're supposed to do. And the reality is, so many people end up all over the place focusing on all kinds of stuff that may or may not actually help them grow their blog. Now, let me turn the question back on you. You have a blog, you've been creating content, you're growing your email list, you have people that have signed up for your membership and so on. What are the things that you have done that have been effective for you?
In terms of what? Effective to what end?
What does that mean for you? I don't know what effective means for you. So for you, what has worked with all of the different things that you've done?
So with my members, I have actually provided some substantial value. I had one guy who literally had $100,000 turnaround after I started coaching him, which was just massive, changed their lives. So, I mean, the thing that really worked there was getting in and having the one-on-one time, having time to be able to talk with them, go through their particular issues. And so that's what I do in the member calls. That's what the member calls are, especially right now with only 10 people in the membership. It's fairly small. So the people that come, it's usually only 1 or 2 people come to the calls, every call. And so it is almost one-on-one time.
Now, just really quick, how much are you charging for the membership?
So the base price is $19 a month.
Okay. All right. Carry on.
Okay. So,
wait. Sorry. The base price is $19 a month. So it goes up to what?
So no, I'm saying that's the most somebody would pay right now. If they pay quarterly or yearly, it's cheaper, right?
Got it. Okay. Carry on.
So they're getting a massive value right now, and that's, I'm okay with that because I'm just starting out, right? The goal is that it's going to get big enough, but that I can still charge a low amount and have a lot of people in the membership and make a good, reasonable living doing it, right? So that's been the biggest thing for the members, is just the coaching calls and having the time with them. In terms of growing the membership, the biggest thing has been that kind of thing as well. Is one of the things I do is I hang out on a lot of the Facebook groups for Canadians who are struggling with their finances, and I offer, just free input time to time, like not always, but just whenever I've got time. And a lot of the people that I've had longer conversations with on there were the people that eventually became members. Mm-hmm. So that's been some of the ways that I've seen more substantial growth. Like a good chunk of my members have come from stuff like that.
All right. So, there's the 80-20 rule. Have you heard of the 80-20 rule? Where 80% of your output comes from 20% of the things that you do. And what you're basically asking me is, what is my 20%? And then what I asked you is, what has actually worked for you? And you said the content that the stuff you're doing in your members area, that is important and that has worked. The stuff that you've done in these Facebook groups, that is important and that has worked. The reality is, and let's just say, because those are the 2 things that you mentioned, if you focused on those 2 things, you probably will continue to see some growth. All right? If it's worked in the past, it probably will work in the future. And if it's working right now, you could probably tweak it and make it even better. So if that's working, continue doing that. Now, the general answers that I would say, without digging into your details, which we just did, are you want to be creating content, and then you want to have a way to funnel people into your membership. Those are the things that you're focusing on, creating the content that you're putting out there so that you can attract the audience and funnel people into your membership. If you're doing that, then your membership will continue to grow. Everything else is additional, is extra. Now, you said something, and this wasn't your question, but okay. I gotta address it, man. You just told me that one of your members was on a coaching call, and based on what you did for, or how you helped him, how you served him, he had $100,000 turnaround. Was that correct?
Yeah, over a period of 8-9 months. Yeah. Over
a period of 8-9 months. But then you told me that the base price is $19.
Mm-hmm.
That tells me you're probably undervaluing what you're doing. No, actually, I'm gonna go a little firmer on that. You're definitely undervaluing what you're doing, because if you only have 10 members and these people are coming on these calls, and even if it's just 1 out of the 10 got $100,000 turnaround, there's no reason you should be charging no $19 for that. You're telling me that it's not that valuable.
So what you're saying is that I got to find more people like that who are in that kind of position that I can help.
I'm saying you got to increase your price.
Well, yeah, but the point is, like, it's about getting out of debt, right? And so most people aren't willing to spend that, even when it comes to seeing a massive turnaround. The thought of paying to get out of debt, people have a lot of trouble with that.
It's not a matter of paying to get out of debt. It's a matter of investing to improve your situation. The words that we use are very significant and very important. And if you're talking to these people about paying you to get out of debt, then you're using the wrong terminology. You've got to invest the time and resources in order to change your situation. Let me tell you about Bob. I don't know what his name is. I'm just calling him Bob. But let me tell you about Bob. Bob thought it was important to invest in his situation. And within 8 or 9 months, he was able to have a $100,000 turnaround. Was that worth the investment? Now, only if you're a fool, you're going to say, no, it wasn't worth the investment. So the way you position yourself right now, you shouldn't be positioning yourself like that. It's not, hey, can you pay me $19 so that I can help you get out of debt? No, it is, listen, it is time to take this seriously. It is time to invest in yourself. Unless you invest in yourself, you will not change your situation. Don't hold that opportunity back from them. So I think you have some things there to think about in terms of the value that you are offering.
I do believe that what I offer is worth way more. Absolutely. And I've seen that across the board. So what you're saying is believe that the people are out there that are willing to invest that kind of money to see that kind of return.
I'm saying they're definitely out there.
They're definitely out there.
It's not believe and they will come. No, they're there. They're there. People are hurting. Here's the thing. I've come to realize that in order to make a significant change, you have to invest. Whether that's time or money, you have to be invested. And if you're not invested, you will never take it seriously. Get them to invest in themselves. They're not paying you. They're investing in themselves.
Right.
And the side effect of that is you get paid.
Right.
It's just it's a subtle mindset shift that changes everything.
I'm not offering my services for them. I'm giving them the opportunity to invest in themselves.
Absolutely. And when you become confident about that statement right there is when they actually start to believe it. I am confident that, listen, if you invest in yourself, if you go through this training, and if you take the kind of action that you need to take, you're going to get out of that situation. And if I believe it, and I should share stories of other people and how they've done it, of course. So you got some decisions to make there about pricing, and also you got some decisions about what you're going to be focused on. Make them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And let me know how it goes.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
You are very much welcome. I love that. Listen, it's about investing in yourself. That's how you take things to the next level. Right now, you guys are on here. You're actually investing. It's not a financial investment, but you're investing your time, and time is money, right? I'm investing my time in you guys right now because I believe that this is something that is valuable. This is something that can help you tremendously. But if you're just, listen and you don't do anything about it, then what's the point? All right, we got some questions on YouTube. This is a great question from Ignorant Industries. The name Ignorant Industries just makes me want to find out what it's about. It just sounds it makes inquiring minds want to know. When repurposing content, is it best to start with a video or a blog post? In my opinion, if you ask me, what I would do, absolutely start with a video. Let me tell you why it's better to start with a video. When you start with a video, there's so much you can do with it. You can literally extract the audio, and now it's an audio. You can get it transcribed, and now, with a little bit of tweaking, you have a blog post. You can take excerpts from that blog post, and now you have excerpts for image quotes and tweetables and all kinds of stuff. Because you're starting in video, there's so much that you can extract from that, even without you. And this is what I've been doing, and I'm going to continue to do. When I make a video, I can pass it on, and there's all kinds of stuff that can be done with that video, even though I'm not doing anything. If you write an article, yeah, there's stuff you can do with that. You could pull out excerpts and make image quotes and so on, but it's much harder to make it into an audio. It's much harder to make it with into a video. So in terms of repurposing specifically, it is always better to start with a video because you can literally pull out almost every kind of content from that one video. And that just makes life awesome. Much easier. Oh, my baby is on here. She said, looking awesome. Oh, thank you very much, baby. That's my wife, everybody. You see that smiling, beautiful lady right there? That's my wife. All right, we're going to go for about 15 more minutes. We're going to go until 8:30 Eastern. Let's see. Paul is asking. Oh, this is a great question. So Paul is asking, if I've got the money, would you suggest I pay for Facebook advertising for my personal development blog or continue to try and get traffic organically? That is a great question, Paul. And my answer to that question is it depends. Here's how I look at Facebook advertising. If you're going to pay for advertising, you're paying for a specific purpose. You're spending money to get people to take a certain kind of action. If I were, trying to get my blog going and I'm investing in Facebook ads, I would not invest in Facebook ads just to get traffic to my blog. I would invest in Facebook, especially if you have nothing to sell. Let's say you're just getting started and you're trying to grow an audience. I would create an awesome resource that your target audience would find very valuable. And then I would invest in Facebook ads to get them onto that email list by signing up for that resource. But here's the thing. A lot of people that get into Facebook ads, they just get into Facebook ads and they boost their posts. And there's a context in which boosting posts makes sense. But you want to make sure you understand what you're doing. So it might be worth either getting help or investing in a course on Facebook ads to see how you can best use Facebook ads to target the type of people that you are trying to target to grow your email list and so on and so forth. All right, so is it worth it? Absolutely, it can be worth it if you do it the right way so that you're not just wasting money to get in front of people that are not taking the kind of action that you want them to take. Generally speaking, for Facebook advertising, when people ask me, should I spend money on Facebook ads, I tell them, yes, it makes sense to invest in Facebook ads if you know the value of a customer. If you know that when you get a customer, that customer is worth $124.15 over the lifetime of, them making purchases from you. Now you have a number to work with. You know how much you can invest in Facebook ads and still have it be profitable. If you don't know those numbers and you're trying to invest in Facebook ads to grow your business, you might spend $20 to get a lead, but you don't know what that lead is actually worth. When you know the value of a customer, then you know the value of a lead. And once you know the value of a lead, you know how much you can spend to get that lead and still make a profit. That's when I generally would recommend someone invest in Facebook ads. But like you said, if you have the money to spend and you're just trying to accelerate the growth of your blog, sure, do it. But do it effectively. Either educate yourself on Facebook ads, take a good Facebook course or something of that sort, or get someone that actually knows what they're doing. Or else, it is very easy to just throw money at the wall and nothing works. You're spending a bunch of money and you're getting no return on your investment. So that would be my recommendation where that is concerned. Let's see. Do we have any questions on YouTube? Let's see. Ray said, not on YouTube, on Zoom is what I meant. Let's see. Ray said, I saw you on TV this week. Oh, sweet. That is awesome. Erica, is that a question you wanted to come on and ask? All right, let me bring you back on here. And go ahead. What's your question?
Okay, so I just wanted to make sure I understood clearly, because that was a great question that someone asked. So like I mentioned, I've been trying to get traffic to my blog, but I do have a couple of like packing checklist or some downloadables. So it would be helpful for me, you're saying, to use Facebook ad to get someone a downloadable and get that email address versus say, hey, I got a new blog post.
The answer to that question is, well, it could be valuable to you to do that. Here's the thing, right? When you send traffic to a blog post, generally speaking, what is going to happen is someone goes to the blog post and then they leave. Is that valuable? Maybe a little bit, because, now at least they know about you and they know about your content, but there's only so much you can do with that. There's only so much you can do with people knowing who you are. If they're on your email list, now you can communicate with them. And now you can keep in touch with them and let them know when you have a new blog post. For me, that is much more valuable than just having someone visit my blog, because as quickly as they visited the blog, they can easily leave. And that's not what I want. I want to grow an audience. So if I'm spending money on ads, for me personally, they should at least be getting on my email list. Now, the caveat to that is there are a lot of things that you can do with ads, and there are a lot of strategies for running ads, and there are different types of ads that you can run. You can have an entire ad funnel where at the top of the funnel your ads are just to bring exposure. And yeah, maybe they're not getting on your email list, they're not buying anything, but they are now aware of you, they are aware of your content, and they are engaging with that content. Now, based on their engagement with that content, now you have an audience of engaged people that you can target with a next level of ads to get them to take some kind of action. So there is a point where doing ads just for exposure can be valuable, but that's usually when it's in the context of building an audience of engaged people that you can retarget with ads to get them to take action on, like, take the next step to sign up for a webinar, get your free downloadable, and so on. But generally speaking, if you're just running ads to get people to visit content and that's it, that's not a smart ad strategy, in my opinion. If it's just to take one action, I want them to sign up for something so that I can engage with them even more and leverage that audience in the future.
That makes sense. That makes total sense. I'd rather get something from that Facebook ad, something tangible like that email address. So that that really has opened my eyes, you answering that question.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for. We're here just to open eyes. That's what we do here. Jen says, amen. I've spent $500 this month. Thankfully, I got all that back and then some. And Jen is a perfect example. Jen decided, hey, you know, she has these products that she's been selling, and she does coaching, and she does all these different things. She's making money with her blog, and she decided, hey, I want to take things to the next level. I'm going to do some Facebook ads. And she invested a significant amount of money to go through a Facebook ads course. And that Facebook ads course has taught her how to do ads effectively. And as a result of that, now she is able to drive, you know, to increase her revenue, spending $500 a month and making that back and then some. That's a good investment. Listen. If I could put in $500 and get 501, we're doing all right. You know what I'm saying? And I know she's done much better than 501. But that concept is exactly it. All right, let's see. Let's head back to the socials. Let's see. Carol is asking, regarding public domain, where are the best places to find public domain content? You can do a Google search for public domain images, and you'll see a bunch of different sites. The one that I've used is Wikimedia Commons. If I go to commons.wikimedia.org, you will see here, and let's move this comment. Oh, let's go here. So Wikimedia Commons, you can search for anything. So I know this is kind of hard to see. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Since I had a biology blog, I used to do things like a human cell. Just to show you how this works. I'm searching for a human cell. All right, so I'm finding a bunch of images of human cells. Here is one, for example. And you will see if this one is not in English, but you'll find many others that are in English. Oh, it does? Okay. So here they have all kinds of different versions, and here's the English, the original. So I'm going to go to that one. And you will see right here, it says that this is public domain. That tells me I can use this however I want to use it. And now I have a human cell that, you know, I've used this human cell just as an example in my classes. I've taught lessons about the human cell using this. When I made videos, I use this and many others. And you can see here there are a bunch of different images here for public domain. Some of them are public domain. And let's see if we can find one that is Creative Commons. So this is... that's public domain as well. Okay, so this one, for the person that Nora was asking earlier, you'll see CC by SA 4.0. If I click on that, it takes me to the license and it tells me it is Creative Commons, but attribution and share alike. And if you read, it'll tell you you are free to share it. You can copy, redistribute the material in any medium or format. You can adapt it and build on the material for any purpose, even commercially. Under the following terms: attribution, I have to give the appropriate credit, and share alike. If I remix this and anything, I must distribute it under the same license as the original. So you can see there are terms here that I need to understand. And by reading through those terms, now I know, hey, I have permission to use it. But if I use it and I can change it as I want, I have to attribute it back to the original creator, and I have to share it under a similar license. So if someone else sees it, they can also use it as well. Creative Commons is a great compromise when it comes to copyright, because you can still use the stuff with permission under certain terms. All right, let's see. Let's take a few more questions. We got a few more minutes. So let's see what we have on here. AE is asking, how do you create content without getting current events involved? And I assume that when you say without getting current events involved, maybe you're meaning, hey, the current state of affairs and everything that's going on, maybe with the coronavirus pandemic or whatever. Hey, if the focus of your blog is not current events, then you don't have to necessarily talk about current events. If, for example, I still had my biology blog, I would just continue teaching biology. I don't necessarily have to comment on that publicly on my blog because that is not the purpose of my blog. So you want to stay in the context of what your blog is about. Now, if your blog is dealing with issues that are relevant to current events, then yes, talk about current events. That's actually a great way to be a part of the conversation and to leverage the fact that if it's a current event, people are searching for it at higher numbers right now. And that can help you to get a little bit of boost. It's they call it, what's the term that I'm looking for? A term. I can't remember what it is, but basically taking advantage of the fact that there's a lot of interest right now. If anybody knows the term that I'm looking for, it's like right there. Just go ahead and type it. But taking advantage of the fact that a lot of people are searching for it right now, a lot of people are sharing it on social media to create relevant content that's related to the current events to take advantage of that increased attention that is happening at the time. So that is always a good thing. Where on TV were you? It depends. It depends on where they saw me. I am one of the co-stars on a show called Strange Evidence. It's on the Discovery Network on the Science Channel, where we talk about there's like a bunch of different weird footage that was caught on camera, and they bring in these experts to talk about what could it be? So I'm the biologist that comes to talk about these strange things and try to figure out, is it an alien from another planet? It's so weird. But it's fun. I enjoy doing it. Or it could be possibly on the news because I do some stuff on the news in Orlando. All right, let's see. Ooh, great question. Raven CCS1 is asking, I've noticed many blogs do not have HTTPS, which means that when someone first visits, the first thing they see is the URL is not secure. So this was a big change that happened maybe 2 years ago. I don't remember exactly when it happened, but browsers started pushing people to having a secure website where you see HTTPS. You have an SSL certificate. That's what it's called. You get that installed on your server, and what it basically does is it encrypts your website in a way that makes it less likely to, for example, steal your information. So Google and many of the other browsers started showing alerts for sites that were not secure, and the main reason for that is they want the web to be more secure. So that is their way of pushing you to say, hey, I'm going to install this security certificate, this SSL certificate on my blog so that it can be more secure, protecting the end user a little more. It doesn't make them 100% protected, but it's more secure to have that installed. So if you don't have that set up on your blog, I highly recommend doing that. You can go through your host in most cases. In many cases, it's free to do that now. If your host doesn't do it for free, you can use a service like let'sencrypt.org that provides those certificates 100% free of charge. Let's see. Oh, this is a good point. Ignorant industries. You're not so ignorant because this is a very good point. There's another option between copyright and public domain or Creative Commons called private label rights. You pay a fee for the right to sell it, usually low price. Yes, that is another great way that a lot of people use to get content that you have the rights to do it. It's called private label rights. You pay the person that releases their content under PLR, private label rights, and now you can use it for, creating products or writing articles and all that stuff. That is a great way. I've used PLR content as well, and that it is most effective, in my opinion, when you use it not as is, but you kind of use it as inspiration, or to help, to add bonuses, or to fill out your content even more. Let's say you're launching a product on a particular topic. You have your outline or whatever the case might be. You get a PLR that adds some more that maybe you didn't think about, and it helps to make it a more complete package. So yep, that is also an option. And just like that, oh man, we are out of time. It is 8:30 here in sunny Florida. I want to thank you all for being on here and for just engaging with me, because this has been fun. This is my first. I'm going to be doing these weekly from now on, for however long. I don't even know. I just want to provide value. I want to help people. I want to serve people. I want to coach people. So thank you all for joining me today. If you are on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe. Hit that bell icon, because I'm going to be releasing more stuff. I actually just brought on a video editor that's going to be working with me to help me to get videos out in a more expeditious fashion. And I'm excited about doing that. So, I didn't even think about how I'm going to end this. But I'm just going to say thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you got value from this. I'm wishing you absolutely nothing but the best. We're going to go live again next week. And yeah, that's it. All right, guys. Y'all take care. Have a blessed rest of the night. And I'll see y'all next week. Take care. Bye-bye.